Hello everyone, I'm Nasim Niknafs. I'm an associate professor of music education at the Faculty of Music, University of Toronto. I'm honored to be a part of this very meaningful podcast, Ethics of Song, because of the current pandemic that revealed so much and abysmal institutional racism and discriminatory practices in our societies. I also believe that perhaps by thinking about ethics in songs and music, especially during these times, we might be able just slightly um, contribute positively to our society. Today, I would like to share a song um, that my mother has used to sing for us. It's a lullaby, um, Iranian lullaby. I'm a born and raised Iranian, and which most probably this lullaby is coming from the northeast of Iran. But as a professional musician, I deliberately decided not to go after the origins of the song because I didn't want to ruin the magic for myself. The song has many meanings for me, especially coming from my mother, and I would like to keep those meanings intact. The meanings that I created, the meanings that my mom passed along through this lullaby. This song can be called Lālāi or Lālāi. In our household, we call it Lālāi, and has been sung for many years for us by my mom. Uh, we are children of the Iran-Iraq War. 8 years of war. We've been born and raised into it right after the 1979 revolution. So our psyche, our surroundings, TV and radio were all abundant with war news and revolutionary songs. So this lullaby was quite path for us to, how should I say, to create some kind of a meaning attached to it, yet staying away from it. So it was kind of a safe space, a secure space, a loving space outside of the commotion of war. Um, we used to live, as children, we used to live in north of Iran, and we were part of the host family situation. There were some hotspot cities for bombardments, and a lot of people from Tehran and a lot of our family and friends from the cities that were not safe because of the war were coming to our home. So at one point, I actually remember we were 17 children for about, I don't know, a month at least, if I remember correctly, in our household. We loved it. Like a lot of kids, a lot of kids. You can imagine how that would be, from all sorts of ages. And we would learn a lot of different games, and we were basically an intergenerational education, informal intergenerational education for all of us. At the other end, my mother was the host, so it was, I can't imagine, it would have been very difficult for her to host all these people. Um, Yet, the war, um, as much as horrifying it was, it also created a space for us to grapple with some questions, really existential questions, as children, as in young age. Um, and my father also used to go to the front, and he was a surgeon, so he was always going and coming back, thankfully. So the conversation, the discourse of war was entrenched in our household. It was there. I didn't personally experience bombardment, but I heard a lot of stories from other kids in our place, in our neighbors' places, everywhere. So it was there. And my mother used to sing this lullaby, and not only when we were sleeping, but at times of distress for us, when we were feeling insecure, when we were feeling sad, or happy, or triumphant. So this was a song that was in our household all the time. And I think my mother sang it the best way possible, like, because that's also my point of reference. I've heard it from other people and from obviously social media, this song is there. Yet my mom's version, I think, is the best for very obvious reasons. Also, I think my mom has a beautiful voice, as a musician. I'm speaking as a musician toward my mom's voice. I try to be as objective as possible. Yet this song, the meaning of this song is so much that I would like to pass this along to my almost 3-year-old son. Uh, Not because I think it's aesthetically a beautiful piece of music, but I want to share that love, that security, that pure, unconditional love, um, toward my child. Rather than telling him that I love him, I want to tell him through this song every night that I'm with him, I'm around him, he has my support all the way through. And as kids, we did not have really happy childhood in our household. I don't want to get into details, but this song really was solid pillar for us to hold on to when things were going badly. So when I'm singing this lullaby to my son, it also gives me, beyond pleasure, it gives me comfort. And I also believe now that I became a mother myself, that my mom also sang it not just for calming us down and give us comfort, but it was also um, conveyor of comfort for her. It was bringing comfort and solace and some happiness, some solemn happiness to her also. Singing itself is calming, is soothing, and singing for us was also soothing. So I would like to share that with my son also. Um, the song itself is about different flowers and put about different events after each flower. So it has a cyclical and canonic feel to it. I also improvise a lot on it and I give it a happy spin. As you can imagine, I was raised in war and now we are immigrants. Um, Throughout all these situations, we also grappled with our identities, with our diaspora identities, with our immigration, with our being Iranian. This song, the recurrence of this song also gives me um, a solid grounding wherever I am, regardless of the geography. And I would like to share this with my son. So, with the flowers, I really always improvise around the lyrics and not with the melody because I think the melody is absolutely fantastic. Again, subjectively speaking, so I don't want to touch the melody. Sometimes I do, obviously, I do ornamentations around it. Yet, I do a lot of playing around the lyrics and I put my son as a flower name, for example, and some of his friends and some of his loved ones also, and play around the different events. There are a few verses that I would sing um, that I will translate now. So the first one is I wrote it down. The first flower is pennyroyal, that his father has gone to war. And even though this lullaby starts with war, it's very heavy in meaning and dramatic um, in circumstances. I think it was the best way possible to understand living through war for us as children. So I don't want to get that away from my child. Even though it's not a happy song, it's also perhaps not a song for kids, um, because it's talking and touching upon a very serious issue of war, yet it humanizes the experience of going through war, and it was always a point of solace for us. So, the first flower is pennyroyal, and someone's father has gone to war. The second one is the hazelnut flower, whose snake has gone into a box. And the third flower is a poppy flower. And I created a different lyric around it, that a child has gone to explore. And it all rhymes to the flowers in Farsi. And I move on to talking about my son as a flower, and that everyone loves him because there is a um, direct pathway to submit my love to my son and to tell him that I love him without actually saying it. And it's the feeling that I want to express. It's not necessarily the lyrics, but as an entity, I would like to give it as a gift to my child. I would love to give this song as a security blanket to him. So here it goes. Here's the song. Lālāi, 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 Gule pune, babaş rafte be cebe. Lālāi, 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 Gule fando, morش رفته سر زندون. لای 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 لای، گل خشخاش، کودکش رفته به کنکاش. لای 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 لای، گل نوژن، عشق تو من رفته رو چمن. And on it goes. I improvise on it every night. The lyrics change depending on my feelings and my son's feelings around the sleep time. But these days, my son asks me to sing it for me, and this gives me immense joy that I have created such security for him that he feels the agency to own the song and sing it for me. So happy for this. And this is what I would have liked to share: love and security to our children throughout these times, and also even if we ever have a happy moment, anytime possible, sharing love and care, I think, is the best way possible to create happy societies. Thank you.